Going to give you an update on the virus situation here in Connecticut. And before I even do that, there's a lot of, I know I got some subscribers from Italy. There's a lot of Trump supporters in Italy. I just want to say what's going on over there. Over 600 deaths yesterday is just awful, terrible. And just God bless to all the Italians dealing with this right now, which is unbelievable. And look at this. Look at this beautiful. Look at that. It looks like Jesus. The guy took a picture. It looks like Jesus was in the sky over Italy. Beautiful. Unbelievable. But here in Connecticut, you know, it feels like the net is closing in, and I'm in northwestern Connecticut, and it's the cases are increasing by the day. If you look over here, we now have a situation where the governor has ordered all non-essential businesses to close. There's some health worker in Bristol now has the virus, and we have a fourth death here in Connecticut. If you look at the map, look at this. This is not good situation right here. So things are starting to get kind of sketchy here, and we were just told, I don't know if you saw that, but we were just told that we're basically have to stay home now. However, there are some things going on that are, you know, encouraging with our president. In particular, he's been getting a lot of praise, and I read today that actually he is has the overwhelming majority of Americans think he's doing a really good job handling the virus. Of course, there are some that are, you know, still talking trash or whatever, but for the most part, I mean, even our governor here, if you look, our governor said
the president, you know, a little slow off the draw on this today. He was on the conference call with all the governors. He is all in. They are putting in place orders to those that manufacture, say, the ventilators, in the coming weeks.
So, you know, that's nice. He's a Democratic governor. That was nice of him to say that. And even some really hardcore anti-Trump Democrats are, you know, coming out and saying positive things, like Ilhan Omar, of all the individuals that would say something. Ilhan Omar, look at her tweets that she sent. Was this 2 days ago? She said, finally, we should never let politics get in the way of good policy. She went on to say, unprecedented times require unprecedented leadership. We are seeing that in our country right now. Then she goes on to say, politics aside, this is incredible and the right response at a critical time. So you know what? Good for her. Good for her. Someone who's clearly not a pro-Trump, you know, politician whatsoever, to go against the, you know, narrative and to go against the rest of her party, and to actually say some nice things about President Trump. That was, it's nice to see that at a time like this, you know, that we have individuals that do not like him coming out and saying positive things about him. And she breaks ranks with her party to do that. So, you know, props to her for that. And, you know, as for us here, we're in northwestern Connecticut. Again, we're being told to stay home. There's, I don't know how many cases now. If it's, let's see here, how many total? So almost 200 cases, and again, there's 4 deaths. West Hartford confirms first case. That's getting real close. That's like a half hour, 20 minutes from me, getting closer by the day. So, you know, another thing is, you have these more fake news. I'm not sure if you've seen this, but look at this. This guy caused a problem today with the president.
Who are frightened, give them some advice. Instead of offering that advice and that comfort, the president did this.
What do you say the Americans were scared, though? I guess nearly 200 dead, 14,000 who are sick, millions, as you witnessed, who are scared right now. What do you say to Americans who are watching you right now who are scared?
I say that you're a terrible reporter. That's what I say.
I
think it's a very nasty question, and I think it's a very bad signal that you're putting out to the American people. The American people are looking for answers, and they're looking for hope. And you're doing sensationalism and the same.
You know what actually sucks about that, though, is CNN did not show the whole beginning. They only show, like, what do you say to the Americans who are scared? They didn't show the beginning of that. And if you look over here, you can see that this began a very different way.
About the possible therapies, yesterday, Mr. President, you said that they were for, quote, immediate delivery. Immediate, we heard.
We were ordering, yes, we have millions of units ordered. Bayer is one of the companies, as you know, big company, very big, very great company.
So I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but there's a few minutes there of President Trump going back and forth with this guy when he was telling him about how this malaria drug might be, you know, a potential helpful thing for the virus. And there was a lot of back and forth, and he kept pushing and pushing. And the president said, look, I'm not making any promises, but I think it's worth trying out. Of course, when CNN shows it, they skip all of that and they go straight to the part where President Trump gets mad. But he wasn't getting mad at the question about, oh, what are you going to say to the scared Americans? No, that wasn't what he was referencing there. Of course, it makes it look that way when CNN shows it, but what he was actually referencing is prior to that, this guy was basically saying, why are you going to give Americans false hope? Why waste your time? Dr. Fauci said it's not going to work, blah, blah, blah. And President Trump saying, look, we're just going to try. It can't hurt to try. That's what he's basically saying, and that is what the President Trump getting frustrated and angry was in reference to that. It wasn't in reference to what CNN just shows you. It's really annoying. Right now is a time when these reporters should not be behaving like this. Obviously, our president's under a lot of stress. He's doing a really good job as best he can. Give the guy a break and let him do his job, all right? So anyway, here in Connecticut, we're not going anywhere. I did have to go out recently, and I wore my mask, and I'm going to put it on right now, show you what it looks like. So here's my mask. My wife made me this mask. I did have to go out, and I wore the mask. You know, some people say, I can take it off now. Some people say, oh, mask's not going to help or whatever. Look, the Chinese government did a study. One guy on a bus in China, they traced it back, this guy who infected 14 people on the bus. He was on the bus for 2 hours. 9 of the people got infected while on that day, while he was on the bus. He was coughing a little bit. A couple of the individuals were actually 4 rows back on the bus. But 9 people that on that day caught the virus from him. They looked at security footage to try to figure it out. The next day, 3 more got sick, caught the virus, just from it like being on the handrails and other stuff. And the next day after that, 2 more. So a total of 14 people they traced back with security footage because of one guy being on the bus for 2 hours. And one thing they noticed is not one individual who caught the virus from this guy, not one of them was wearing a mask, not one. And everyone on the bus who was wearing a mask, no one caught the virus. So look, the masks, maybe they're not perfect, but it's common sense. You don't have to be an expert or scientist to know that obviously wearing a mask is better than no mask. Look, it's a crazy time. Everyone, be safe. The net's closing in. Again, look at this map. Here I am, right up here. So, look, let's support our president. And he's doing a good job. He's under a lot of pressure. You know what you could do too is if you want to stop watching the news for a minute, watch some of the election night videos. I'm going to put a couple links of some good ones down below. Watch some of those election night videos. It'll cheer you up, put you in a good mood. God bless. God bless President Trump.